A few months ago, I noticed something that honestly made me uncomfortable. I pick up my phone to check the weather. 20 minutes later, I still holding it, watching videos I don't even remember. I couldn't tell you what I had watched. I couldn't tell you why I kept scrolling. I only knew that 20 minutes of my life had disappeared without me making a single conscious decision. That moment stayed with me, so I started paying attention, not to other people, to myself. Every morning, the first thing I reached for wasn't a glass of water, it wasn't a window, it wasn't even my own thoughts. It was my phone. Before I even fully opened my eyes, I was already reading notifications, checking messages, looking at headlines, and watching shorts videos. It felt normal because everyone does it, but then I asked myself a simple question. When was the last time my day actually started with my own thoughts, instead of someone else's content? I didn't have an answer. The more I observed my habits, the more I realized something important. My phone wasn't forcing me to do anything. The apps weren't reaching out of the screen and grabbing my hand. I was choosing to open them, but those choices had become automatic. That's what surprised me the most. The biggest changes in our lives don't always happen because one huge decision. Sometimes they happen because of hundreds of tiny decisions that we stopped noticing. One more video, one more notification, one more scroll. 5 minutes become 30, 30 minutes become 2 hours. At the end of the week, you wonder why you never had time to read, exercise, learn something new, or simply sit with your own thoughts. Then I tried a small experiment. For 1 week, I didn't ban social media. I didn't delete any apps. I simply refused to touch my phone during the first 30 minutes after wake up. That was it. The first mornings felt strange. I kept waiting to reach for it, without even thinking. That's when I realized how strong the habits can become. Instead of scrolling, I made coffee. I looked outside, I sat quietly. At first, it felt boring. Then something unexpected happened. Ideas started showing up. Random thoughts, plans, questions, things I wanted to learn, things I wanted to improve. It made me realize that my brain had been so full of other people's content that I stopped listening to my own. I'm not saying phones are bad, they're incredible tools. I used mine every day. You're probably watching this on one right now. The problem isn't technology. The problem is when technology starts filling every empty moment of our lives. We don't wait anymore. We don't get bored anymore. The second we stand in line, we check our phones. The second we are alone, we scroll. The second we have a quiet moment, we replace it with noise. Maybe boredom isn't the enemy. We've been told it is. Maybe boredom is where creativity begins. Maybe silence is where we finally hear ourselves think. I also noticed something else. The happiest moments I had recently weren't the ones I recorded. They weren't the ones I posted. They weren't even the ones that got the most likes. They were the moments when I forgot my phone was even in my pocket. A good conversation, a walk with no destination, watching the sunset, reading a few pages of a book, cooking without checking a recipe every 30 seconds. Those moments didn't make me more productive. They made me feel more present. And maybe that's something many of us are missing. We spend so much time documenting our lives that sometimes we forget to actually live them. I'm not telling anyone to delete social media. I'm certainly not saying technology is ruining the world. I think the real challenge is more simpler. We need to make sure we are using our devices instead of letting our devices shape every part of our day without us noticing. So here's a question I've been asking myself lately. If someone watched every decision I've made with my phone for 1 week, would they be able to describe the person I want to become? Or would they only see someone reacting to whatever appeared on a screen? That's a difficult question. At least it was for me. And maybe it's worth asking yourself too. Because our future probably won't be shaped by one life-changing decisions. It will be shaped by the small choices we repeat every single day, often without realizing it. The more I think about it, the more I realized that this isn't just about phones, it's about attention. People often say that time is our most valuable resource, but I don't think that's completely true. Time passes whether we like it or not. What really shapes our lives is where our attention goes while that time is passing. If you spend 2 hours reading a book that teaches you something meaningful, those 2 hours leave you with knowledge. If you spend 2 hours having a deep conversation with someone you care about, those 2 hours strengthen the relationship. If you spend 2 hours creating something, practicing a skill, or simply thinking about your future, those hours become an investment in the person you're becoming. But if those 2 hours disappear into endless scrolling that you barely remember the next day, what are you left with? That's the question I kept asking myself. I also noticed something interesting. The apps I use know exactly what catches my attention. They know what makes me stop scrolling. They know which topics make me curious, which videos make me laugh, and which headlines make me click. In a way, these platforms have become incredibly good at understanding us. The problem is that they understand our impulses better than our long-term goals. My impulse wants entertainment right now. My long-term goal wants discipline. My impulse wants comfort. My long-term goal wants growth. Those two things are often competing with each other every single day. And if I never stop to think, the easier option usually wins. That's not because I'm lazy. It's because our brains naturally choose what feels easy and rewarding in the moment. Once I understood that, I stopped blaming myself every time I got distracted. Instead, I started asking a different question. What environment am I creating for myself? Because motivation comes and goes. Habits stay. If my phone is the first thing I see every morning, I'm much more likely to use it. If it's across the room while I'm reading, I'm much more likely to finish the chapter. Small changes don't seem important at first, but they add up in ways we rarely noticed. I've also started appreciating moments that used to feel unproductive. Going for a walk without listening to anything, sitting with a cup of coffee and simply observing what's around me. A few years ago, I would have called those moments a waste of time. Now I think they are some of the most valuable parts of my day. They are the moments when my mind finally has space. That's usually when the best ideas appear, not while I'm rushing, not while I'm scrolling, but while I'm simply present. Another thing that I realized is that comparison has become almost invisible. You open an app to check one message, and within moments you've seen someone traveling, someone buying a new house, someone getting promoted, someone starting a business, someone getting married, someone achieving a fitness goal. Even if you don't mean to compare yourself, your brain noticed. Without realizing it, you start measuring your ordinary Tuesday against someone else's biggest highlight. That's an impossible standard. No wonder so many people feel like they are falling behind. The truth is, every life looks complete from the outside. Every life has struggles that never make it onto a screen. Remembering that has helped me enjoying my own journey a little more. I'm still learning. I still waste time sometimes. I'm still catch myself opening an app without knowing why. The difference is that now I notice it. And I think awareness is where change begins. I'm not trying to live without technology, I'm trying to live with intention. I want my phone to be a tool, not a reflex. I want my attention to belong to me. Because at the end of the day, the life we build isn't determined by what we say is important. It's determined by what we repeatedly give our attention to. So maybe today, before picking up your phone one more time, ask yourself one simple question. Is this taking me closer to the life I want? Or is simply helping me avoid the moment I am in? You don't have to answer that question perfectly every day. I know I don't, but I think asking it is already a step in the right direction. And if enough of us start asking ourselves that question, maybe we'll discover something we've been missing all along. Not more time, but more presence. Because when we're truly present, even ordinary moments becomes memorable. And in the end, those ordinary moments are what make up most of our lives.